As I sit here in my kitchen and record this, we have already, we being Aaron and I, have recorded our episode. And in my opinion, it was one of the worst episodes we've ever done. Because how do you cover a over 4 decade career of such a polarizing individual like Hulk Hogan, right? Where do you start? Where do you end? I mean, so many large moments, but also so many tiny, nuanced moments that, made such a big deal, right? How do you do that justice? Well, you can't. And I feel like a week removed from his passing, we weren't going to break any new ground or cover anything that had not been said. We do cover the good and the bad. I didn't know how to phrase the way I was feeling, right? Because it is, like many people have said, a complicated situation. And a lot of this show, I wouldn't say has been built on, but one of our most popular segments has been the Hulk Hogan lie of the week over the years. Hogan, notorious for his lying and tall tales. And I've said some things about Hulk Hogan because as an adult, there has been, in many ways, an inherent disappointment that has come with being a fan of Hulk Hogan. There's some embarrassment and disappointment that goes along with him being a part of a sport that you love. So I wrote down my thoughts, and I figured before we start the podcast this week, I would read my thoughts. I'm glad I've had a few days to sit with all of this because honestly, I don't know what I would have said in the immediate knee jerk moment after finding out Hulk Hogan passed away. When someone dies, even a famous person, even someone you've never met or barely know, if they meant something to you, it takes time to process. And Hulk Hogan meant a lot to me, for better and for worse. Over the past few days, I've read so many posts from people trying to make sense of his legacy. Make no mistake, Hulk Hogan is one of the most divisive figures in wrestling history. And he leaves behind a complicated legacy, both in and out of the ring. Mark Henry made a post recently about the idea of Hulkamania. And that's what I keep coming back to. The idea. When I was a kid, I didn't have many people around to guide me, to lift me up, to help me understand right from wrong. But I had this red and yellow, mustached, skulleted, bandana wearing hot dog skin character on my TV every week, sometimes daily, thanks to my worn out VHS tapes. He preached the demandments of Hulkamania. Say your prayers, take your vitamins, believe in yourself. And I did. Hulk Hogan was undoubtedly my hero. That idea, the feeling of Hulkamania, bonded me and my grandmother in ways that still brings tears to my eyes. I struggle sometimes to remember her voice, her face, but I remember how she made me feel, especially when we watched wrestling together. We shared those moments through Hulk Hogan. So much so that when she passed away on April 1st, 1995, I placed a Hulk Hogan action figure in her casket so that in some way she would always remember me and I could always be with her. That is the weight that this character carried in my life. About 10 years ago, I got to meet Hulk Hogan. And I don't know if it was Terry Bollea or Hulk Hogan standing in front of me, but whoever it was gave me 5 minutes of complete presence, eye contact, focus, kindness. I told him my story. born with cerebral palsy, how he brought me and my grandma together, how he inspired me in some ways to become a wrestler. And I'll never forget that. He treated me with respect, dignity, and compassion. In that moment, he was exactly who I remembered him to be. The immortal Hulk Hogan. But here's the truth. I can't tell you how to feel about Hulk Hogan, and I won't try to. Because I know how hard it is when someone you looked up to lets you down. In the last decade, Terry Bollea and the version of Hulk Hogan he continued to embody made choices that hurt a lot of people. He said and did things that don't align with the values he once pretended to stand for. He supported people and ideologies that cause real harm. That's not okay. And I've wrestled with that a lot. Hulk Hogan wasn't just a wrestler to me. He felt like family. But life, people, family, it's rarely black and white. I grew up with a father who was physically and mentally abusive. He scarred me in ways I still carry. And yet, I still love him. I still miss him. My mother was a drug addict. She hurt me too. But I carry love for her just the same. Because love doesn't always make sense. It doesn't always mean approval. And it's possible to feel conflicting things at once. Grief, anger, sadness, and gratitude. So no, I didn't know Terry Bollea. But I feel like I knew Hulk Hogan. And even though those were supposed to be different people, that line blurred a long time ago. Today I'm not here to debate the man for you. I'm just here to talk about facts, my opinions, Aaron's opinions. We're here to honor what the character once meant to us. You don't have to do the same. I respect whatever your truth is. But today, for me, and me alone, I choose to remember the feeling of Hulkamania. The bond it helped form between a scared little boy and his grandma. The belief it gave me when I didn't have much else. And the moment it came full circle, when I stood in front of him and saw my childhood stand before my very eyes. I'm certainly not perfect. You're not perfect. No one is perfect. But now, for those of us who lace up our boots and step into the ring, we carry a piece of that legacy, whether we want to or not. A lot of us do what we do because of Hulk Hogan. And while we too are flawed people, we have the opportunity to be better, to live better, to perform better, to embody the idea of Hulkamania in a new and more meaningful way. We can take the best parts, the belief, the inspiration, the connection, and build on them with honesty, humility, and empathy. So the next generation doesn't just believe in their heroes, they're made better by them. The idea of Hulkamania that can still live on. Not through perfection, but through intention. Hulk Hogan, rest in peace. Thank you for the memories, and thank you for the power of Hulkamania.